Hey everybody, it's David J. Murphy of Around the Lens. I'm here with the filmmaker Njedeh Anthony, and we'll be talking about his film, Yellow Broken Road, which will be world premiering at the film festival Dances with Films. Njedeh, thank you so much for being on the program. Why don't you
Thank you so
first start
much.
by telling me about the film itself, what's kind of the story of it, and kind of how it came to be? Where'd the inspiration come from?
Oh, okay. So Yellow Broken Road, and hello everyone. Yellow Broken Road is basically a woman dreams her entire future in one day. She wakes up and realizes that everything she dreamt about is real. In there, she sees that she will live a complete life. She will live a happy life. But the problem is the person that she loves will die young.
Well,
She sees this person, so she has to basically come to terms with that reality. So what happens in the movie is she we transcend from the present to the future. So we basically see the life she has when she sees the love of her life. She sees how everything goes while she's in she basically we see her future, a specific future, if she picks that person that is the love of her life. And basically, so the present is a romantic film. It's beautiful, it's like vibrant and colorful, but the future is suspense because you have death is just crawling in every scene, every frame, everything that goes in there, because you know he's going to die. So the idea for the film just basically it just came out with snippets of real life stories, some of them mine, some of them those of people I know. And basically we just all of those pockets came together, and basically the film got basically built around that. Initially it was a debate between this and my other book, Mind Crawlers, but Carl Fanchen, which is my executive producer, was like, we geared towards Yellow Broken Road because it's almost like an opera. It goes high, goes low. In the present, it's just simple, but in the future, it's like it's like you see a beautiful moment, you feel the rise, then you know something's coming. So yeah,
yeah, no, it's an interesting premise because, right, she knows the future essentially, right? Because she's
yeah,
dreamt it. But
yeah,
if she goes down this broken road, so to speak, it could mean the end of this person's life, right? Because their
ex-
relationship is the reason for the end of his life.
exactly. I mean, it's almost that choice that we almost we as people have to make is: do you want to live a short quality life, or do you want to live a long mediocre, benign, just not as fancy a life? So it's that choice she has, because it's almost that quality love. There is a line in the movie where her friend was just like, the reason her marriage and her love life works is every day they realize like this will end at any second, at any minute. So they put so much of their energy into the perfection of every moment they have together.
And is that where the title come from? I mean, what does Yellow Broken Road mean to you?
It's a play. The title is a play on Yellow Brick Road from Wizard of Oz. So Wizard of Oz, basically, they were going to look for the wizard because the wizard had the hope, had the dream, had the had all. Dorothy could go back to Kansas. Everybody, there's just so much beauty. There's so much possibilities on going on that road. But the Yellow Broken Road, it's the opposite, because on that road, it's like he is going. That's basically the person that you love will die if you make this choice. It's the opposite of it. So yeah, that's where it came from.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Talk to me about sort of the project itself. What was the overall process toward acquiring your actors and getting your locations and getting your production on the road? Was it overall a smooth process, or was it kind of fraught with any sort of difficulties? And if so, how did you overcome those challenges?
Oh, independent films are they always have difficulties because you have to put like I don't think there was anybody, including the actors, the cast, the crew, that had just one role. We had to put on multiple hats. Now, the genesis of all of this started with again, as I mentioned, Carl Fanchen. He basically we played around with the script and all of that stuff, and we figured out, okay, this is what we want to do. And once we finalized on the script, the next person I called was Justin Morgan. We had worked together we are basically worked, we both produced Exceptional Beings together. So I reached out to Justin, we had the communication, then the crew, we started getting the crew and we started the casting process. I think two or three or four of the actors, oh, actually four. I'd worked with four of the actors previously. The lead actor and the lead actress had smaller roles in my earlier film, and they blew up the auditions. They were just amazing in it. So that's why they had it there. They weren't, it was just beautiful how they just came in and took over. And the other characters just came in. So that was a bit of my casting. Then post production, I have an international crew for post production that I've been working with for. I mean, some of them have been with me since my first film, Creatures of Necessity. So I've been with them for a while, and yeah, in between there were hurdles like the weather. There was like the weather. There were things with permits. There were this with locations. Even we literally had an actor drop out on the day that the person was supposed to shoot. So
Oh,
we had
wow.
to basically, yeah, everything was just going on. It was almost like, again, I think it's one of those beautiful things about independent filmmaking, because it's so dynamic that you have to figure things out as it's happening there and then.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, being able to adjust on the fly and deal with sort of fires as they come up is kind of part and parcel with trying to make an independent film. I know I experienced that on a regular
Mhm.
basis when I was
Yeah,
doing my film.
nice.
So good on you for being able to adapt and overcome those
Yeah,
particular challenges.
yeah, yeah.
Um, were there any sort of difficulties with sort of the adjusting around the time mechanic of the film? Obviously, when you're scheduling and trying to figure out, where to put scenes when, I know for my own personal purposes, just remembering what people are supposed to wear on any given day, to ensure that, there's consistency there, was a challenge. Anything like that that came up, or was it all
Oh,
pretty much well planned out?
absolutely. I mean, first of all, we did have, yes, there was a lot of planning that went into it. And with this, especially with the fact that with the present in the movie, it had like lots of color. It was vibrant colors, all, and which is something like the Burano, the Sunny camera was just perfect in. We got the colors, we wanted the beauty and all of that stuff. But with the future, it was duller. It was because we're building on the suspense and the thriller of the future. So the colors were different. The environment, the production design was different. It was like a different world entirely from that. So there was a lot of planning in there, a plan of planning. It's almost like it's the beauty of everything, and I would say is why I love pre-production. Majority of everything was done during pre-production. That's when we really got to iron out every page, every detail, every word, every line, every shot, every scene, every sequence.
No, that's extremely important to do good pre-production,
Yeah,
and that's where you can iron out those issues and hopefully resolve them before you ever put a single frame
yeah,
to memory card, I should say.
yeah,
Talk to me about the technical equipment and stuff. I love geeking out over cameras and lenses and all those things. So you said you
yeah.
used the Sony camera. Which one was
We
that?
Burano. It's
Sony
funny.
Burano. And you shot at what, 4K or 6K or 8K?
We shot 6K. We shot
6K.
6K, but there were some shots that were 4K that we had to come in. We initially shot, and it's not in the film. We had to take that out. There was a huge Japan Kyoto scene in there. That was like there was so much of it in there. I mean, if you notice, there were like lots of calls to. Even the language was they spoke it a couple of times, and we had to take it out. That was shot with a different camera at that point in time. But yeah, so we uh, we had a lot of merging with the technicality in there, which is one of those things that I am so impressed with Yang Guo over the editor, because it's almost like playing with the different shots, different scenes, the way we merged everything together. And sometimes we actually had to even do VFX with some of the shots because they didn't come out exactly the way we wanted it to. So the VFX artist, Suya, she was amazing in getting the shots to be the way I was hoping for them to be.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the film explores and deals with kind of like African heritage, and I see that explored obviously in the characters and also, their what they wear. Some of the characters wearing like more traditional African garb, and
Yeah,
obviously you're from Nigeria, Lagos specifically. So talk to
yeah.
me about how you incorporated your own personal heritage into the film and into the story and the characters.
I want to say, to be honest, there is a I mean, being an immigrant was like a very big part of the characters, being a big part of the man and the character in there, and there are certain things that, because of that, it gave us the opportunity to play with certain African traditions and cultures and things. For instance, like if you notice, there's a theme that they kept saying "Enyimba, Enyi." Enyimba, Enyi, then it's Zobu. So the full meaning of that is basically like the elephant which stomps on the road, and basically, essentially, it's what the warriors in that period in time when they want to go to war, it's almost like they're essentially saying, "We're ready to die. Let's go do
Hmm.
it." And I think while I was writing the script, I remember clearly there was politics going on in Nigeria, and there was this tribal thing going on, and there was like a fight going. Then I think between one tribe and the other, when they were coming towards this guy just started saying that theme, and they all just started coming out. And the more they came out, people were just coming and coming, and they were just saying it. And the other people coming from the other end, just hearing it, they basically ran off. And it was such a powerful thing. And I remember while that's how that came in. And not only did it come in, then Piero, because just the theme, just like them, that chant alone, then Piero took that theme. I don't know if you saw it in there, and basically he dun 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 dun. So basically he put in the musical theme around it. Even the opera singer that we got, when she was singing, she sang, she stretched it out when she was doing. We used that theme alone. She also put it. He created an operatic version of it in the musical composition as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, I think, obviously music and score plays a very important role in this film.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your authorship. So you've authored 12 books, all right, and you've also been responsible for producing or a producer on a number of different films. Talk to me about sort of the art that goes into book writing versus screenwriting and how you translated from one to the other. What was your process there?
Oh, so to be honest, I just wanted to write books only, because I think it was just that godly nature of you create the environment, you create the oxygen, you create the sand, the feel of the sand, you create, it's like your characters, you can do everything. You can just basically make the wind, oh, the thunder blasted, then the plane crashed in there and all of that. You have so much, and that was where I wanted to stay. I really wanted to be in that environment, but books are harder when you're writing it. It takes, it takes a bit for me to write books, which is not, but I mean, for me, it's not, let me rephrase it. It doesn't take that long for me, but writing the books, you write and you're in that place. Then, but the problem I had was I literally was in a situation where I couldn't see them. It was essentially, it was just me. It became more of a selfish thing writing for me. Now with screenplays, it gets you basically the words now get into the script, and it's almost like when you create a character on the screenplay, whichever actor takes that character, it becomes them. They now own that character. They are now that person that you see when it's so I kind of was ready to enter that next phase of giving my characters to somebody else. So if anybody thinks of like Imani, or they think about Ike, they think about the professor, the maestro, all of those characters now, they see those people that are in there. So that's how I kind of got into that idea of putting it into film there. Then writing, directing, producing is all that gives me the ability to make the film the way I see it and put it in there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's awesome. That's great to hear your process. What do you think is sort of the lasting sort of impression you want people to leave with after they see your film?
Um, well, I know I've been saying my film. I should actually emphasize it's not just it's a film with Mike McGlinnick, everybody. It's a combination of everyone in there. So I want them to watch the movie and I want them to watch the movie and appreciate life and appreciate the moments. Hold on to it because nothing is permanent. It's just it's nothing is. We just have just a short window in this life. We're just so tiny compared to the existence of the planet, the existence of the solar system, existence of everything around us. So I want people to feel appreciative that they are alive.
Absolutely. Where did the sort of funding for this film come from? Obviously, a film like this, feature film especially, is obviously going to require some funding. Was it self-produced? Did you have investors? And how was that process? Was it long? Was it easy? How'd you get the film off the ground, so to speak?
Yeah, funding. I had investors, and I had investors in there. It was a process. I don't think any filmmaker will tell you that part is easy. It is hell, and
Right.
it is hell. But at the same time, it's also puts you in a position where you have to basically put yourself out there, and basically put your product out there and get how would I put it? Get a lot of rejections. I mean, the
Hmm.
rejections are like you know you get so much rejections, but the reality is the people that believe in what you do,
Hmm.
there is that level of justification for your art when they believe in you and like, okay, I want to take my money out and give to you. And when they do that, and I feel the least you can do is respect their investment, respect their belief. And you and everybody involved in the project just gives 100% of yourself into bringing the best product for them. Because I mean, money is I mean, money, as much as everybody say money is something that for someone to give to you, it's something that they could use for something else, but they choose to invest in you. So
Right. No, absolutely. I think that's the biggest thing we have to understand, that people are giving you their money to invest in art, right? They're
mm,
investing in your vision and belief that this product, this content, this film is going to, garner enough attention to hopefully recoup those funds, right? And I think the
exactly.
fact that you obviously have been able to have your film premiere at this film festival is a great indication, that there is a potential market for your film, right? Because that's always what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
I assume, do you have distribution for it yet, or are you going to be seeking it after the festival?
Oh, we're still seeking distribution. We haven't found a home for it right now. So yes, we're on that right now.
Okay, great. Tell people where and how they can see your film.
Okay. So this Monday, June 22nd, at the TCL Chinese Theater at 8:15 p.m. Please come on down. There'll be a Q&A after. You get to meet me, you get to meet the cast, you get to meet the crew, you get to meet everybody. And just come in, have a blast, ask any questions, ask about this film, ask about any other film, ask about I have like a weird encyclopedia of so many movies in my head. So yeah, let's have a conversation, let's talk, and look forward to seeing you all.
That's awesome. Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hope everybody goes out there and enjoys your film. Any other films that you're working on or that we should be looking out in the future from your company?
Yes, we're thinking of doing it's the debate that we're having now because I have one called The Sandy and there's another one called Four, and there's another one called Mind Crawlers. So the three of them are is the debate on which way to go. So
Right.
we're doing that dance right now.
Okay, great. So a lot of irons in the fire, because I know that's always
Yes.
the question at least I get asked is like, okay, what's next, right? You got to
What's
have
next?
something
I
ready
know.
to go.
Exactly. You have to keep going because actually the first film I did, immediately I was done because it was like I was so exhausted. I was like, okay, I am done. I'm going to retire before I know what's going on. I did the second one. Now it's on the third one. After the third one, I was like, I'm done. But you just keep on going.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, right? Because on the one hand, it's exhausting and it's just, such a almost, I would say, it really destroys you in a way to have to make a film because it takes
Yeah.
everything out of you to
Yes.
both make, market, and promote and get this little baby out there in the
Absolutely.
world. And then you're done with it, you're exhausted, but somehow it's like we all are gluttons for punishment, right? And we want to have that experience
Exactly.
again.
That is so accurate. That is so, you want to stop, but you can't stop. And it's like it's almost like you miss the pain, you miss the sweat, you missed
Exactly.
everything that you hated when it was happening, but you find yourself back there again.
It's
You
like we
know.
forget what we went through because
Exactly.
and then we're in it again,
Exactly.
and they're like, "Oh, this is why I didn't want to do it." But you know what? I'm already too deep. I got to go push through. But
Y-
yeah, I mean, I'd say that's the biggest thing. Like when you're in the production, like you forget about all of it, and you're driving forward because you have to, and then
Yeah.
you get some time to reflect in post production, and you're like, "What did I do?" But then you're like, get some space and distance between it, and then let's do it again.
And let's do it again. It's almost, to be honest, I think what fuels most. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about big production, but independent filmmakers is you have to have that level of passion for that project. You have to love that project
Yeah,
because that keeps you going. Because I mean, I'm sure there are lots of productions that just stop halfway, but if you love that project, if you're passionate about it, you just don't. I mean, how do you walk away? It is, as you said, it's your child, it's your baby, you know.
yeah, absolutely. Awesome, great. Well, thank you so much again for your time, uh, Njedeh. I really appreciate it. Before we
Thank
say
you.
goodbye, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, thank you so much, Dave. I love the thank you for the opportunity, and I'm grateful for this. And hey, we can talk film anytime. Just I'm here anytime.
Well, that's great to hear. I actually do a roundtable discussion show, so maybe I'll
Okay.
get together a bunch of filmmakers I've interviewed, and we'll all talk about something like
Absolutely.
everyone loves to talk about
Absolutely.
AI.
AI is, oh, let me, AI, it's like, I hate it so much, but you find yourself like using it when you don't want to use it, but it's one of those, it's destroying us, but helping in some weird way.
I'm less doom and gloomy about AI. Like, I definitely think, there is something to be afraid of it on a
Yeah.
very sort of like, base level, right? Because when we're talking about attention, and again, this could be a whole other show, but when we're talking about and thinking about the attention economy, which is people's time and eyeballs, when they're on their
Yeah.
phones or whatever,
Oh boy. Yeah.
I think AI is going to devastate that. If you're trying to get people's attention by creating like small bite-sized content that appeals to people on like their TikTok or something, like you should probably get out of that business because AI is so easy and pervasive to create that you're going to be swept up and ultimately pushed out
Hmm.
because of that. But if you're trying to make like films and TV shows and stuff that requires heart and requires attention and requires dedication and something with real meaning behind it, I don't see AI as usurping that, at least not anytime
Yeah.
soon. For
Yeah.
example, I went to the Tribeca Film Festival and there was a short film that was animated, but it was made with AI, right?
Yeah.
It looked like a Pixar film, but you could easily tell it was AI after you watched it for a few seconds. And once I got to the point where I knew it was AI, because I didn't know
Yeah.
beforehand, I always go into films blind. As soon as I knew it was AI, I was like turned off completely. I did not care about, the story or the message it was trying to get across because I felt deceived and I felt like I didn't couldn't get into it. And I think there's still going to be that for many of us, and I think maybe future generations will be able to disconnect that. But as soon as I know something is AI, I just
Yeah.
completely disconnected from it. But that all being said, I think there are a lot of interesting and innovative AI tools that can definitely help out, especially independent filmmakers. For example, I came across one the other today, actually. A filmmaker used this tool that simply changes the way light is on a person. So, like, let's say you
Mm.
shoot somebody and they're in sort of like dull light. You can use this AI program to essentially give them like very nice, highlights on themselves, like that looks like it's shot at sunset or something. And I thought that's really an interesting way because it's not generative AI, right? It's not creating
Yeah.
something out of nothing. It's taking what you already shot and just basically putting special effects on it, putting a layer of sheen on it that would be really prohibitively expensive for us as independent filmmakers, but
Yeah.
within the realm of possibility. So, I think there is a place for it. I use it myself for like fixing audio, and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting world, and I just hope at the end of the day it doesn't make us extinct. But it's always going to
Y-
be tough. You're competing with video games, you're competing with professional products, the studio system.
Yep.
It's it's always difficult to gather people's attention, and I don't think AI existing necessarily, like, people who are going to say like AI is destroying the filmmaking business, I think are those people who are finding excuses for anything, right? Like, oh, my
Hmm.
film didn't do well because of AI,
So
right?
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's lazy. I think that's kind of disingenuous, because if you make something that is, rewarding and is captivating and garners people's attention, it shouldn't matter that AI exists, because there's always a million things that can distract people from what you're trying to sell them. And I think we should all strive to create the most captivating content possible. And if you're doing that, it should not matter that this thing exists, in my opinion.
No, I do. I'm because I'm trying to think about it. Like I do, like certain emotions that come out from actors when they're acting and all of that. When you try with AI, there's you can it's just it doesn't work. Like I'll give an example. This is why I know AI sometime, and I agree with you, like maybe a couple of decades from now, it's going to take over. But for now, there was a scene in the movie where the two ladies are talking and the kid is there. And in the in the in the in rehearsal, and I remember clearly Vicky was in there and she just started crying, and that was not in the script. It was not in the script. And she was crying. And and I didn't, I mean, I knew it was a powerful scene and it was extremely powerful, but that reaction threw me off. And I was like, and it was just perfect because that's where we went. But the problem with things like AI is it's a machine. You're essentially telling it, oh, this is what happens. And it just does what you give it mechanically. It doesn't have that human nature to metamorphose into this beautiful thing that comes out from humanity, which is one of the great things about humans. It's basically it's not only our mistakes, but it's just the way we stumble across creativity and things that just make us unique and different and specific. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are still going to want content with heart, and they can't right now get that with
Yeah,
AI. Who knows? Like I said, maybe 10 years from now, whatever, it'll be
yeah,
there. I think,
yeah.
we're going to see some product released in, the next few years that's simply like a Fire Stick, right? Or one of these little, boxes or things you plug into an HDMI cord, and it's going to be your personal AI machine. And you're
Yeah.
just going to tell it, I want to see an action comedy with nuns fighting on the moon. And it'll generate for you, in seconds. You'll have a 2-hour film, and that's it, right? That's going to be the
We're already
future.
there. Literally, you can make I think you can make a 5-minute AI movie on that right now.
Five minutes? I would like
I
to know that resource. I know you can make like 10, 20-second clips, you
Oh
know,
well,
but
no, no. I
but
mean,
like
you
to
have
make
to
like a
join it.
full film,
Well,
I think
make it full five. I mean, you
locally,
can't locally.
that's
You have
that's
to
going to
join the
be.
pieces. I'm just talking of joining the pieces
Yeah, I'm
together.
talking about like you have a, zero friction, plug it and play, tell the thing what you want to see, and it makes it for you there, either locally or maybe even, connected to the cloud, right? But you tell it what you want. In seconds, you have the full length feature film done for you.
I'm done. Well,
Not that you have to make it.
it is coming though because I
It
think
is, I
like
agree.
because I know I forgot his name Game of Thrones, the
Hmm.
author was basically they started stealing. So basically, most of these companies are now taking the way authors write, their
Right.
methodologies, and loading all of this stuff into AI.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's capturing all of that stuff. So it's just probably going to be like, oh, let's make this seem like Agatha Christie, the way Agatha Christie would write it. It's already stealing so much stuff. So to be honest, it's getting there, which is very unfortunate for us. But the good thing is, I think they overestimated how much AI will take over
right,
because I think it backfired on them. I mean, some of the studios expected, oh, by now AI they can do most of the stuff with AI, but that's not the case because it's still you can't replace the human touch for now.
right.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, give it 10 years and we'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, thank you, Njedeh. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much.
Really appreciate it. Good luck with your
Thank,
film. Wish you all the
thank
luck.
you, Dave.
And we'll have you back on the program, when you talk about your next film, if nothing else.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Or the round table, you know.
This or the roundtable. Yeah, as soon as I get that set up.
All
Awesome,
right.
buddy. Thank you
Thank
again
you,
so
Dave.
much, and have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.